Good evening, everybody. We're gonna go straight into this one today. It is 11 at night. I took a nap after work today. It's Friday, and well, I took a nap. That means I got energy now. We're gonna go ahead and get started on Grandma's truck. Now, engine might have an issue. Don't know. 9712 valve if you guys are new to the program. But we have, well, look at this. This is what happens when I drain the radiator. That is some gobbledygook right there. It's supposed to have a brand new head gasket in it. That might have already failed after like 3 days of driving, and my grandma parked it for 3 years. Or it might have a bad oil cooler. But the long end of this, I would like to completely redo this truck. And I would like to pretty much, even if the engine is only the oil cooler's the issue, I want to pull the engine out and reseal it, re-gasket, re-everything it. I'm going to run it if it's all good, obviously. And we're going to put that 5-speed behind this. So I'm going to set you guys up on a tripod because I would like to play some music, and I'm going to just rock a time lapse, and I can't let you guys listen to my cool music that plays on the radio because that's, you know, copyright infringement and stuff like that, and I'll lose my monetization or monetized. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'll lose something. A record for pulling an engine is 1 hour and 45 minutes, but it didn't have the transmission on it. I highly doubt I'll pull the engine tonight, being that I don't have a cherry picker. I don't have anything here to lift the engine. But we're gonna get all this stuff, hopefully the bumper taken off, and pull the radiator, pull the intercooler, and all that good mess. So first thing is, I gotta move the 3500 because its big butt is right in my way. So let's go ahead and get this program started. All right, time check. It has been 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Probably the biggest struggle was getting the bumper off. I forgot the side brackets are on, but it's almost like stumping right back in the curve. I miss working on second gen 12 valve projects like this. I've taken this section apart on many trucks, and it's kind of weird how your memory works, you know. Certain things you can't remember, other things you can really remember, like what size every other one of these suckers is. I missed a couple of them, but for the most part, we were right there in the money of it. Now, I have done the killer dowel pin
cover on this thing, so the killer dowel fin, it should never go anywhere. And I don't think it actually, don't think this one moved. No, this one did back out just ever so slightly. Trying to go back through my log of how many of them, you know, speaking of memory, this one did back out just a tiny bit. So just a sit rep. Look at that. Whew. And taking off the fan and all that, I find it easiest just to take the whole housing unit off. And lo and behold, I don't have a 10mm one of these. I mean, normal size. It skips it in here. I don't know what the heck this kit. So my 450 piece kit doesn't come with a 10mm. Like the prestigious of tools is like the #1 dog is 10mm. But you squeeze this little sucker. Oh, you guys can't see nothing. There you go. There's a bolt back there. It works out real good having this little guy, actually, because it was pretty small to get back in there for the box end. So that worked out slick. But these little chintzy Craftsman tiny wrenches, that thing came in the clutch today. But you can see why I want to tear the engine out regardless of its functionability. But you can see all this up in here. It does look like a new head gasket in there. It's kind of funny they wouldn't clean all this stuff off. But I mean, whoever did the head gasket didn't put the bolt back in for that. So you could see where their head was. Hopefully she didn't get charged a whole crap ton. If you guys are new, this is my grandmother's truck. She gave it to me because it's been sitting for like 3 years. It had an overheating issue. And it's got 300,000 miles on it. And I drove off the lot with her in it back in '97. So this thing is very sentimental to me, like above everything else. But I want to at least get the access to the oil cooler department and see what the heck. Maybe we get some answers on this thing tonight. So I'm gonna get time lapse back cracking, and first things first, next go around working on this truck, if anything, hopefully it won't be complete caked, because that's what I want to get that engine out so I can pressure wash this thing. Because I mean, look how everything, you know, for 22 years she's been absorbing the dirt, leaking the oil. Let's get back to it. Well, I just discovered the source of why it was spewing coolant and overheating on my grandmother. Those freaking jokers didn't put a clamp back on it right here. Just had one clamp. Whoever did the head gasket on this sucker, one clamp. So, yeah, that's always fun. Told you they were amateurs. And that turbo is freaking tight. Anyway, back to work. Alright, moment of truth. This is what everybody was kind of leading towards. That oil cooler. Leaking some coolant. I never had one of these fail before. Tell you this much, this rig's been leaking some freaking horsepower. And when I say leaking horsepower, I mean it's been leaking some freaking oil. All right, you guys ready to find out if it'll let me have it? All right. All right, well, she's out of there, and gobs of a mess. Look inside there. Look at that. Oh, yeah. It's like a little radiator. Goes inside the passageway of the block where it's exposed to coolant. Gasket seems fine, but it did get overheated. But it seems okay. So I'm gonna put a little compressed air through this thing and see if it doesn't hold it. A little air compressor that everybody wanted to knock. It held. Guess what? Oil cooler's fine. Time to pull the head gasket. Alright guys, let's see if we can finish this on one GoPro battery. Hour and 15 minutes. Pull that sucker apart, diagnose that. If you don't understand what I was doing here, I'm running compressed air and blocking off the outlet, because essentially oil runs through this thing, coolant runs and touches this, and it's supposed to cool off the oil. And if that thing fails, it should have a leak in it. So if I run compressed air, it shouldn't hold pressure. It should leak like if you had a nail in your tire. But that thing seemed to be holding pressure, no problem. And we just got Boone up out of the truck. He was sleeping in here. He was sleeping on like the window. He was leaning against it. I wish I got a video of it. But so as of right now, a couple issues that I've noticed. For one, they didn't have one of the clamps for that's a not a bypass, but a split, and it runs up to your transmission warmer blocker thing right there. Get your transmission up to operating temp a little bit quicker, your automatic, and then it splits off to go to your heater core. Well, they didn't have one of the freaking clamps on right there. So how do you expect to hold any kind of coolant, any kind of pressure inside your cooling system if you're missing a clamp? So whoever my grandma took this to, terrible mechanics. I'm gonna tell her she needs to spread the word, not to take it back to them boys. Watch it come out to be Jeff, her husband, or something. Nah, it wasn't him, but the gasket for the oil cooler seems fine. Obviously I'm not going to reuse it. But then there's another thing, is the gosh dang, it's getting late, alternator. The bolt, you're supposed to not have a crappy ace bolt. Yeah, so that thing was botched. They were missing some stuff. This stuff up here, this bolt missing. I'm honestly surprised it ran at all after them boys worked on it. No offense to them, but you need to find a new job, because you're not very good at this one. You might have ruined an engine. When I fired it up, it had no coolant inside the oil, so I was kind of relieved. I drove it for maybe 5 minutes, getting on the trailer, unloading off the trailer, checked the oil the next day, made another video, you guys saw it, and it had oil mixed with coolant. And you could see what I showed you in that pan down there was just some god-awful nasty stuff. That stuff is probably the slipperiest substance I've ever experienced. You mix some mix coolant with some antifreeze. You mix some coolant with some antifreeze, you get the same thing. You mix some coolant with some oil, and gosh dang, it's hard to mop up. It's freaking slippery as crap, and it's sticky. So, but I think we're gonna end it right here. If this engine isn't good, it's gonna get replaced. If it's still salvageable, I'm gonna go through this sucker. One thing I need to do is I need to bring the HVAC system over here from Dad's house. Obviously, I have minimal tools here at the time. I haven't brought any of my stuff over. but I am fully HVAC certified, so I need to evacuate the system of all the Freon and get this sucker out of the way. But for right now, I got this all out. You really need to take out this cross bridge to get the engine out. So it's very, very difficult to fit out as it is. I think they just built this truck around that engine and it just gets stabbed in there. But I need to take this fender off anyway because it's junked. Come on, Boone. This fender's junked. I got a replacement for that, but we're gonna take this thing all out and wash everything regardless of this engine's condition. We need some serious deep cleaning. But let's go ahead and end this video. If worst comes to worst, we have to go with a new engine. Shoot. I wish I had my old engine. I had 2 of these. Could have slapped right in there. I even had the stick shift one. Got a different P pump with the stick shift. It's a little bit higher tuned. But let's go ahead and end it. I'll show you guys the turbo real quick. Hope you can see it. Look at that. 304,000 miles, just still tight. At least the turbo's still going good. But sorry guys, we were really hoping it was oil cooler. It wouldn't. Anyway, I think we pulled another midnighter, but my nap earlier counted for something, and tomorrow is Saturday. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Some 12 valve content, going head deep into this son of a gun. We're getting progress though. Hit them buttons, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Feel free to share this video. What kind of a comment can you guys drop? I got one. Interact with me. Comment some questions you have on the truck. I'll answer those in the next video. And then comment what your guys' current project is right now. I'm curious. I want to talk and interact with you guys. I don't want you guys just watching videos and thinking I'm not reading your comments. I'm reading all of them. And if I can interact, there's getting to be a lot of comments now. So if I can just interact with those comments on the next video, it's even better. I think it's a little bit more personable for you guys, and it's easier for me. So comment away, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.